Hi guys, so a little bit of a different angle today. So rather than tech videos which you normally do, I'm going to talk about religion and the resurrection. So I'm not religious, but I'm open-minded, and I believe in following the evidence, even if it leads to somewhere unexpected. So recently, I've been thinking about something from a completely different angle. Not through faith as such. I'm Roman Catholic, but my mum was quite religious person, so members of my family. I might do attend church now and again, but I'm not, hugely spiritual. But what I want to look at is probability. So specifically, how we use probability to make sense of things we can't fully explain, and how that applies to something as extraordinary as the resurrection. Okay, so let me start with how probability works. And don't worry, I'm not going to lecture. This is not a math lecture. We all use probability in everyday life. We check the weather to decide if we need an umbrella. Doctors use it to decide which tests to run. We assess risk constantly, often without even realising it. But there's a particular way of thinking called a Bayesian probability. It's about, so that's, let me spell that because I've got my accent's a little bit contentious. So it's Bayesian. So it's Bayesian probability. It's about starting with your best guess, then adjusting this as new information comes in. Okay, so you might start with the belief that something's very unlikely, but if more and more strong evidence piles up, your belief should shift. That's how AI works. It doesn't just know things, it constantly updates what it thinks based on data. AI uses probability to give you an answer. So now let's apply that to something like the resurrection. So the starting assumption, and this is really fair, is that people don't come back from the dead. It's rare, it doesn't happen in everyday life, and it certainly doesn't happen just because another person tells them to rise. So if you're using Bayesian reasoning, you begin with very low odds. But, and this is key, if the surrounding evidence is usually strong, you have to update those odds. In the case of Jesus, there aren't just claims about his own resurrection, there are also accounts of him raising other people from the dead. Lazarus and a widow's son before his own. These stories didn't emerge hundreds of years later. Written accounts started circulating within decades. They were copied, spread, and debated while witnesses were still alive. And all of this happened in a really dangerous environment. The Roman authorities weren't exactly encouraging new religious movements. People were arrested, beaten, even executed for spreading these stories, yet they kept on doing it. People don't suffer and die for something they know is false. This has to count for something. Now, think about this. If you went back 100 years and told somebody they'd be able to hold a device in their hand and have a live video chat with someone on the other side of the world, they'd think you were delusional. They would have sounded like science fiction or magic. But today, it's normal. We take it for granted. So what about 100 or 200 years from now? It's really hard. Is it really that hard to imagine a future where we develop technology powered by advanced energy transfer or even something from our own bodies that can restart the brain, restore cells, send life-saving signals through touch? It might sound crazy now, but it's no crazier than FaceTime sounded in 1924. If this kind of tech becomes possible in the future, then it's no longer impossible that somebody 2,000 years ago could have done it. And that's where Bayesian thinking becomes powerful. Even if resurrection starts off as widely improbable, strong evidence forces us to update our view. That's not belief, that's just how probability works. Probability is used for everything. So when you take everything into account, the historical setting, the spread of the message under Roman persecution, the consistency of the accounts, the fact that there were two separate resurrection instances recorded, the willingness of witnesses to die for what they claim to have seen, and the possibility that future technology could explain how this might have been done. Then, from a probability standpoint, the most logical conclusion is this: that the resurrection did happen. Whether it was Jesus or someone people genuinely believe was him, something extraordinary occurred, and the evidence is simply too strong to dismiss. It doesn't require blind faith, just an open mind and willingness to let the evidence speak. If you need to study probability, please study it. But yeah, I'd just like to say that religious friends of mine believe in just two different. The Old Testament, obviously, from the Jewish point of view, the New Testament, believe in Jesus coming out. But I believe if you watch this video and study it, you will be able to get some information that makes people more at ease with their faith. Really. Okay, thanks for watching.